What's up, guys? It's KB. Make sure you subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Click the bell icon down below so you don't miss a single video from us. And thanks for tuning in to another video from Underground Sports Philadelphia. Now let's get into it.
Philadelphia, baby, you're going to love it. Best sports fans in the world. Actually, the worst, but that's what makes them the best.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to a live edition of Underground Sports Philadelphia from Ritas here in Sewell, New Jersey, 288 Egg Harbor Road. Very excited to be partnered with Ritas this month, and going into the summer, there's no better place than Ritas to cool down. So come on out, 288 Egg Harbor Road all season long. Check out all the sweet treats as CFO Margie's on the ones and the twos, the threes and the fours, taking her first one down. KB and Intern Jacob here for the live show. We got a fun one planned. We're going to talk some fight and fills because what the heck is going on with the boys of summer. We're going to talk a little Allen Iverson as he just celebrated his 50th birthday, which is just absolutely crazy to kind of conceptualize, as AI was one of the big proponents for me getting into my love of basketball. And then we'll talk a little Waterdogs, too, because they opened their season with a nice win over the Maryland Whipsnakes down in Charlotte this past weekend. But before we get into everything, make sure you guys are following us on the socials at Underground PHI across the board. It's the easiest way to keep up to date with everything we've got going on. Not only just this show, but throughout our entire company. We got some fun stuff going on over the next couple of weeks that you won't want to miss. So follow us on the socials at Underground PHI. Subscribe to the pod. Subscribe to the pod. I'll say it one more time for good measure, because they say when you say things 3 times, Jacob, that's when it really resonates with the people. So just like Allen Iverson, subscribe to the pod 3 times there for the people on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts in audio form. Leave us a 5-star review. It goes a long way for not only helping this show continue to grow, but it helps every show on our network continue to grow. And if you're on Apple Podcasts, be sure to check out the Underground Sports Philadelphia channel so that you can keep up to date with every show on our network. You can favorite the channel. You get updates on every show that we have coming out, new episodes, top shows, top episodes, so you can fully immerse yourself into the Underground Sports Philadelphia universe. And subscribe to our YouTube channel as well, youtube.com/@UndergroundSportsPhiladelphia. That is where you get full video episodes of this show twice a week, full video episodes of every show on our network, clips, shorts, live streams, original video content. It is all on our YouTube channel. We're at 1,072 subscribers right now, which means we're 28 subscribers away from our next subscriber milestone. So keep subscribing, leave a like on the video, drop a comment in the comment section, and click that bell icon so you know whenever new videos go live. You can also leave us a voicemail at speakpipe.com/undergroundsportsphilly. Leave voicemails for this guy right here. Let him know how much of a bozo he is for being a Cowboys fan. Get your Phillies takes off, because you know Jacob and I love talking the Phils, and anything else that comes to mind about the Eagles, the Sixers, the Flyers, the Union,
Celtics,
the Waterdogs. Boo those guys. Anything else that comes to mind. You just want to get your thoughts off the voicemail line. It's like A.J. Brown. It's always open. Speakpipe.com/undergroundsportsphiladelphia. Jacob, the Phils. We'll start with the Phils, because what is going on with the boys of summer as they get swept in Pittsburgh today as we record this on a nice little Sunday night here from Ritas and Sewell. Not a great road trip.
Nope.
Bryce Harper's on the injured list.
Wow.
And it seems like anytime he's out of the lineup, they the offense just forgets how to play baseball. They forget that the ball can indeed go boom.
It does, and I think that's why we needed Reese. You all saw in the 22 regular season when we had Reese, we were still a dangerous team even without Harper. When he broke his hand or missed time for his elbow or whatever happened, we still had Reese Hoskins, and that was the power bat we need. Schwarber, it's supposed to be June, and Schwarber's not hitting like it's June, which is unfortunate, which he did go yard yesterday. There's still time. June just started. It's only the 8th, so he's got 22 days.
I did see a very funny post that said nothing is a more clear indicator of global warming than Kyle Schwarber getting hot in May rather than in June.
Yeah, that's true. Schwarber did hit some bombs, but
he was on fire in May.
The good thing is Hoagie Fest is right around the corner.
Yeah, we need Wawa to launch Schwarber Fest and get things going to remind Kyle Schwarber that it's time to make ball go boom every at bat.
Yeah. Hey Wawa, I spent enough money at your stores. Please do this for me as a Phillies fan. Like, literally. I'm a broke college student. I spend enough money. I want to see Kyle Schwarber hit 500-foot bombs.
Dingers only. But yeah, the Phils get swept in Pittsburgh. The offense is less than anemic.
Yep.
Just genuinely cannot produce, and when they get guys on, there's guys that are producing. Kyle Schwarber, like you said, hit the home run on Saturday. Trey Turner's still hitting the cover off the ball.
3 hits on whatever day. Yeah.
And outside of that, there's no real solution right now to driving those guys home. The plate approach in this Pirates series was atrocious. You have a chance in this game with 2 runners on, and Alec Boehm hits into a game-ending double play by swinging at the first pitch. And if you guys know, we love Alec Boehm on this show, but it drives me nuts when he's in those situations and he just thinks he has to play hero ball because he doesn't. When you see Alec Boehm have the plate discipline, that's when he's at his best. Yeah. He is truly at his best when he takes pitches, sees his pitch, and makes ball go boom into the outfield for an extra base hit or whatever it may be.
He was looking like the start of the season, Alec Boehm, and not this part where he is right now, where he's taking pitches and waiting for his pitch where he can drive it to the opposite field if he needs to, kind of pull it if he needs to. Boehm's a good hitter. Boehm will get those inside pitches, push him to right field, get a base knock. But that's not what he was looking. He was trying to be a hero at first pitch, and we don't need that. We need, obviously, when Bryce gets back, he's our hero. He's our Lord and Savior of Philadelphia, in my opinion.
Please come back, bro. And here's my thing with Bryce. I'm happy you bring that up. I was talking to some people about this. I was talking to my parents about this. They said Bryce Harper's wrist injury that he went on the injured list for this week has been a nagging wrist injury that dates back to last year in the playoffs. It dates back to October, and it took until December for it to get fully right without him feeling pain. If this wrist injury was something that was bothering him pre-getting hit in the elbow by Spencer Strider, Bryce, I love you, man. I love that you're a gamer. You battle through games in April and May and everything like that.
It don't matter.
Take some time off. Go on the injured list. Get yourself right so that you are good to go and fully healthy when it matters in September and October. Because now without Bryce in the middle of this lineup, you see so many flaws that this team has. And I love the Max Kepler signing. He is more so showcasing that he's a platoon guy, and you're going to have to go and either call up Justin Crawford or go and trade for a Taylor Ward or go and trade for a left fielder
Brett
for this
Doyle.
team. I would love that. And right now, they've had their moments, and defensively they've been solid, and there have also been some hiccups there. But right now, center field is a huge question mark in terms of offensive production, whether it be Marsh or Rojas. They come up to bat, it's damn near an automatic out, and it's tough with the situation they're in because this is something that I said they needed to address in the offseason. They had to go and get somebody else, including Max Kepler. You want to get Kepler to play left field, fine. But if you want to go out and be productive, you need somebody else in center field. Johan Rojas, talented player, but he has to be a fourth outfielder on a championship team. Brandon Marsh, I love Brandon Marsh. The way this team is constructed, he would have to be a fourth outfielder on a championship team. And that's okay to say. No. But the fact that they have not had a true center fielder since Shane Victorino drives me crazy.
The Flying Hawaiian.
There's a list that somebody put out on Twitter of just the amount of center fielders that the Phillies have had over the past decade. And there are some names on that list that it is just what are we doing
like a
with
Roman
this position?
Quinn?
Roman Quinn, Odubel Herrera. You had Ben Revere at one point, Scott Kingery.
Scotty Jetpacks, we will not slander your name here.
Who wasn't even a center fielder. He was a second baseman by trade. He was supposed to be the Dustin Pedroia, but better. Yeah. Was the scouting report.
Matt Vierling was in center.
Matt Vierling.
We've had some dudes.
They need some center field help for sure, and that's the tough part is on top of that, you need bullpen help because Matt Strahm has struggled with walks right now. Orion Kirkring, if you bring him in with anybody on base, it's almost a guarantee one or more of those base runners are scoring, and the rest of the bullpen is kind of put together by duct tape at this point. You can't fix everything at the trade deadline, and that's the tough part about the Alvarado suspension. That's the tough part about not having guys ready to go in the bullpen that are in AAA that you can just readily call upon. And I'm at the point where I'm like, what is the priority for this team? What do they – because right now, without Bryce, There are so many glaring holes on this team. And guess what? It doesn't get any easier. You play 3 teams, I believe, that have a sub-500 record over the next month. It does not get easier. This was a prime opportunity to gain momentum, gain space in the standings against the Mets, and you faltered.
Yeah.
No, not talking about Bailey.
Yeah. Oh. Phil's legend, Bill
Philly's
Fulfer.
legend, who pitched extremely well against us.
And who had one of the worst postseason outings of all time, giving up 4 runs and only getting 2 outs in the first inning.
Brutal.
But we won that game, so who cares?
We did. But yeah, I mean, where do you rank just like position of need, talent need for this team? Say all things are kumbaya and Bryce is back and, we're at a point where lineup is relatively healthy. The bright spot has been the rotation has been incredible, which, not to toot my own horn, I said that going into the season when they traded for Luzardo, and I know he is struggling right now mightily. But even on top of that, Sanchez has been phenomenal.
Awesome.
Ranger has been phenomenal. Like, I'm at the point where I'm like, Dave, I know we've got Mick Abel. I know we've got Andrew Painter. Can we get like a 2-3 year deal done with Ranger Suarez today?
Ranger, even if you extend Abel or Painter, Ranger could be a bullpen dude. We saw it against San Diego. 2 pitches, 2 outs. We go to the World Series. That's what we're looking at. So no matter what, I think we keep Ranger on the team because Ranger's a dude and is loved in Philly, not just by himself, but many others.
And he's a guy that wants to be here too. Like, it's not like he's like...
And he fits well.
He changed his agent to Scott Boras in the offseason, sure, but like he's a guy who has openly said, like, this team like gave me an opportunity when I was a teenager to fulfill my major league dream, and here he is doing it. So, like, I want Ranger Suarez on this team, but that's the one thing that has been the bright spot is the starting pitching.
Yeah, starting pitching has been amazing.
If they didn't have one of those guys, which right now they don't have one of those guys in Aaron Nola, I don't know where this team would be. You saw the past. We're not 1-10 or 1-9 in our last 10, so we're kind of in a brutal spot. But you know what? Things are changing. We've seen rough streaks, and we make it to the World Series. We've seen NLCS trips. We've seen a lot of cool things. But, I'm glad we had this hiccup right now than when we had it in July and August and getting late into the year. And then I also wanted to bring up this about Bryce. Do you remember in 2021 when he got hit in St. Louis in the face? And he rushed it back, and he was like, oh, my wrist is hurting. Yep.
And he took time off. He won an MVP.
Yeah.
So I don't want to speculate, but maybe MVP for number 3.
Let's get it cooking.
I hope.
I also, just looking at priority for this team, I still think it's bullpen.
Oh, yes.
Like 100%. And that's a testament to Brian Barber building the player development side of this team because you have Justin Crawford. Otto Kemp got called up this weekend, obviously, and sure, not the best debut, but also kind of just like thrown into the fire. Hey, buddy, we need you for the next 10 days.
That day, yeah.
Go ahead and go play. He'll get his feet under him.
Definitely.
It'll take some time, but I'm excited for the prospect that is Otto Kemp. You have Justin Crawford, who unfortunately got pulled from the AAA game. I think it was like Friday or Saturday with quad or hamstring. So
it was cramps. I heard it was
something minor, but still like
want to keep an eye on.
Want to keep an eye on somebody who definitely utilizes speed as one of his 5 tools. But I at this point, I'm like, call him up. Call Justin Crawford up. What do you have to lose by bringing him up, letting him, platoon with Kepler in left, platoon with the center field triad that you would have if he's up on the. It can't get worse than Weston Wilson.
Oh, he needs to be sent down or DFA'd or traded for a Chicky and Pete's bucket.
It can't get worse than what we have seen from Weston Wilson since he's come. And I genuinely think he rushed back from the oblique injury that he sustained in spring training.
Yeah.
Obliques are nothing you want to rush back from. And the fact that he had surgery and then came back as quickly as he did, I get you kept him because he's a right-handed bat. You want to, switch things up, and that's why Cody Clemens is unfortunately in Minnesota.
And lighting it up in Minnesota, unfortunately.
Mashing for Minnesota.
We still love you, Cody, here. We still love you.
But Weston Wilson is just not the answer.
Nope. I was never a Weston fan. I thought he was a good, back.
Good vibes guy. Great dude.
He was tattooing some of the Phillies players in spring training. They were talking about. I'm like, all right, I like the vibes, but, why are you still here?
Right. And, at this point, Rob Thompson talked after the game and said, he's thought about making some moves and shaking things up, and his body language looked like he was genuine about that. We'll see what that leads to going into, this week at home, but I want to see some shakeup at this
I do
point
too.
where, like, this road trip was abysmal.
Whew, yeah.
You need to shake it, get some fresh faces in here, whether it's Crawford, whether it's
Aiden
somebody.
Miller, even though he's young, I wouldn't. Aiden Miller, slot him at third, Bohm at wherever. We could put Bryson wherever, Trey at short, maybe even. I wouldn't hate Trey in center field.
Like, the Iron Pigs are the best team in AAA right now. You've
For
got
a
dudes
reason.
down there.
We got some dogs.
Bring some of them up and switch some things out. Like, I want him as part of this team. We're getting too much in a sample size of Edmundo Sosa right now.
Yeah, no.
Like, he's cooled off completely
Very.
from that hot April that he had. It happens. Players go through ebbs and flows. Edmundo Sosa is still going to be a part of this team, but
definitely.
he's playing far too much. You also need to put Trey at the top of the lineup.
Oh.
He needs to be your leadoff hitter.
Trey's been amazing.
Moving forward, I love Bryson Stott. He's just not getting the job done at the top of the lineup. He can work counts and everything, but I saw a stat from this weekend when he had that 10-pitch at-bat that he finally got a base hit. That was his first 10-plus pitch at-bat that it resulted in a hit.
Yeah.
That to me blew my mind because he typically works those counts, gets on base, but it's all been walks. That's the first time he's ever gotten a hit in a 10-plus pitch at-bat in his career.
Honestly, call me crazy, I want Schwarber back in the leadoff. We see what Schwarber does. He brings that fear factor like, oh, I can't leave one first pitch or else the ball will go boom and go over the wall.
I don't hate Schwarber leading off while Bryce is out.
I don't hate that either.
I don't hate that idea.
It's a fear factor. You can't pitch to him unless you're ball scheme.
But it is so pivotal that Schwarber protects Bryce when he is in the lineup because we've seen what it's done for Bryce. Like, he gets on base, Schwarber gets hits because of it. Like, it makes, sense for the dynamic of the lineup. But while Bryce is out, why not? Why not shift some things around and see what happens?
Some things aren't working. We got to change it up because I want to see a ring and a party on Broad Street at the end of the year.
100%. And, like, again, Trey has been your most productive hitter. He's on an all-star trajectory. Like, let your best hitter hit at the top of the lineup.
Yeah.
That's where he needs to be. He's getting on base. He's seeing the ball well. He's
putting
hitting over
power
300.
into it. Yep.
Like, let him just be the guy to set the tone. And that's what he's been most of his career, has been a set-the-tone guy, whether it was with the Nationals, the Dodgers, now sometimes with the Phillies too.
Yeah.
Let him be that guy. I know the defense isn't always great, but guess what? You didn't pay Trey Turner to come here and be a Gold Glove defensive stalwart. That's not his game. He is get on base, hit for average, steal bases, and be a production guy that scores runs for you. And that's what Rob Thompson told him coming into the season to do, is score runs, make things happen, on the base paths. And that's what he's done for a majority of the year, and you can't knock him for it.
No, he's been great. I will knock the defense like, okay, we lost Milwaukee because of you, but you've also been mashing the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And I will take mashing the ball over defense. Again, F defense 2022 made it to the World Series.
Literally. But I mean, when it comes to the rumor mill and everything, with the trade deadline a month away now, a little over a month, I should say, there's a ton of names out there. We're still in the very early stages of that, but it does feel like something is going to happen. We're seeing a lot of guys' names kind of be thrown in the Phillies circles. Dave Dombrowski was at a minor league one of the White Sox affiliate games the other night with Tony La Russa, who looks horrible. He looks like the crypt keeper. I was like, that's Tony La Russa now? Jeez. But Dave was there. I think that's a good sign. Like, go schmooze with the White Sox. Maybe a Luis Robert is in the mix. I'm still of the belief that he's a guy that would benefit from being in a lineup protected by other dudes. You see that White Sox lineup, and there's nobody that protects him whatsoever.
Besides Miguel Vargas, who is a solid dude, but nothing really.
It's not like if you put him in the middle of the lineup protected by Harper and Schwarber.
Oh, yeah, that's different.
Let him mash. Like, that's
two future Hall of Famers. Two future Hall of Famers. I'm saying Kyle Schwarber's a future Hall of Famer because he is 100%. One.
And I just think, like, he's somebody that if you get him in the correct lineup, and I'm not even saying the Phillies may be that, but if you get him in the correct lineup, he's somebody that could, like, change his entire career trajectory around. And he's been good. He just doesn't hit for average right now. Plays in a terrible ballpark, too.
Yeah.
But he's somebody that I've definitely had my eye on the past couple of years. I'm not really in on Cedric Mullins. Like,
I'm a big Cedric Mullins guy, so.
It's just another lefty.
Yeah, that is fair.
That, like, I'm just like, where do you kind of, like, toe the line there, especially with Marsh, you have Kepler. Like, how many more lefties do you want to add to this lineup?
I'm more interested in Brenton Doyle from the Rockies. That's who I would want us to get. That's our 1A option for center field, and I think 1B could be maybe Taylor Ward, but I don't know if they're willing to
Taylor
part
Ward
with.
is definitely somebody that I was surprised didn't get traded last year.
Yeah.
And
He's mashing right
definitely
now.
fits the bill of the Phillies
Yep.
and being a past trade partner with the Angels.
Yeah,
Like,
a lot of trades.
and
with
that's
them.
another team that like has guys in their bullpen that you can also kind of like add into the deal and be like, let's do a 2-for-1 or something like that, and
Yeah.
like kind of like knock the price down a little bit in terms of, oh, we're giving you a pristine prospect. You're adding, say, just as an example, because Kenley Jansen is out there.
Yeah. Not a Kenley fan, but
Bring in Kenley as like an eighth inning guy for this team,
Could be.
maybe, and maybe it drives the price to be like a B tier prospect rather than an A tier prospect or something like that, because Kenley's older. I think he's only on a 1-year deal.
yeah, 1 year like 8-9 mil.
Taylor Ward is older, so it's like a way to kind of flex things there. Plus, I think you kind of overpaid last year for Carlos Estevez a little bit.
Yeah, a little
but,
bit.
Maybe that's a little get back for the Phillies
Yeah,
in that
like,
department
yeah,
with the
you
Angels.
ripped us off a little bit. You can send us a little stuff
Right.
out. We'll give you a bucket of chicken peach. You could try. We'll give you some taste. We'll give you some seasoning.
But there's definitely teams now, and we said it a couple weeks ago, like June was going to be a pivotal month for some of
Yep.
these teams that we're paying attention to, that are going to be on our radar to see, okay, are they in sell mode, are they in buy mode, or are they just a bad team and they're in limbo of, yeah, we're going to hold on to our guys and see what happens
Yeah.
type of situation. There's a lot of teams out there, and, the Texas Rangers are a team. The Angels are a team. The Athletics are a team. Like there's a lot of teams in that AL West that
Jose Leclerc
Phillies
from
fans should
Oakland.
be eyeing big time.
I like Jose Leclerc.
Big time. And I'm not even like on the Mason Miller train, because you're going to have to pay an arm, a leg, and probably your social security number for that guy, because he's just lethal, and I'm afraid of his arm falling off like a piece of good barbecue.
Yeah, and he's also given up the most home runs by a reliever this inning, reliever this year. So that kind of scares me a little bit. But he's throwing 102. If you touch the ball with your bat a little bit, it's going to fly 400 feet with
Right.
Max Kepler.
I'm like, can we get Brent Rooker this year? Like,
I wouldn't hate Brent Rooker, but I don't know where we would put him. Left field.
right.
Left field.
Platoon him with Kepler, like have him in for the
I think
first.
if Rooker's in our lineup, he plays every day.
Yeah.
If we're putting him in left
I'm
field.
saying it's like a defensive thing. So,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
seventh inning rolls around. All right, Rooker's out. We put,
Yeah.
Kepler in if we're up by a lot or something like
fair.
that.
Fair, but that doesn't solve the center field problem we have.
Right, 100%. And I think that's probably priority 1A for this
Yeah.
team is center field and figuring that situation out. And
I think 1A is bullpen, honestly.
I think that's number one.
Yeah.
You have, by far and away, you have to figure out the bullpen situation, especially now, this homestand is Chicago coming
Yeah.
into town again.
And then
that's going to be a big gut check series.
And then we have to face some
then Toronto.
some team from New York.
Well, they come in the following week. We have Toronto on the weekend, and then we go to Miami, who always gives us fits.
Yeah.
And then New York comes to town,
Yeah.
including a Sunday night
No,
baseball
can we just please sweep the Mets? Like,
That'd be great.
I'll take the slump we have right now if we sweep the Mets, because I hate the Mets, and everyone in my fraternity and my coaches are Mets fans, and I don't want to deal with their crap for a week.
Can't deal with the Mets.
The NLDS was rough enough. I don't want to make it 2 years in a row.
But, like, Chicago, I think, is the first big gut check coming out of this slump.
Yeah.
The Cubs are a team that you took 2 out of 3 at Wrigley from. Now it's time to be like, all right, we need to look ourselves in the mirror. This is a good team coming to Citizens Bank Park. Fans probably aren't going to be too happy with us coming home. So we got to, go out and put up runs. We got to pitch well and, deliver. And luckily, Zach Wheeler is back this week.
This is a series. Shout out my head coach, Coach Hack. This is a WYNA series. Do you know what that means?
Oh, yeah.
Where your nuts at series. This is a where your nuts at series.
It's a gut check. You got to be dialed in. Every player, top to bottom, has to be dialed in for this series, because if you lose 2 out of 3, you get swept by the Cubs. It gets real spooky going into another series against Toronto, where you should have won that series.
Yep.
You should have swept it probably, if not at minimum
2,
taking 2 out of
yeah.
3. But you get them again
Yep.
on a real quick turnaround. It could get real grim real quick when you go to Miami playing in front of 5 people and a team that typically gives you fits.
Yeah.
It's put up or shut up time for the month of June.
Yeah. It's where your nuts at series. Where your nuts at month.
The Phillies have a lot to figure out.
They do.
And it was not a fun series, but you know what is fun, Jay, where we're at right now.
Oh, how could
288
you
Egg
not
Harbor
love it?
Road here at Ritas in Sewell. Come out, spend your summer at Ritas. It's truly the best.
Nothing
It's the
better.
easiest way to cool off, refresh yourself, the best sweet treats in the game. 288 Egg Harbor Road. We'll be here all summer long, so come out, hang out with our friends at Ritas in Sewell. yeah, I mean, and the Mets, they just continue to win, and that's the annoying part of this slump is the Phillies right now find themselves 4.5 back. They're 1-9 in their last 10. And I have a fun stat for you here, and by fun, I mean miserable.
Oh, okay.
Because it is truly grim, the fact that this is an existing stat. My friend Aaron on Twitter, the Phillies have played 65 games this year, Jacob. They've scored 2 or less runs in 20 of those games, which is about 31% of their games so far. They've scored 1 or less runs in 12 of those games, which is 18.5% of their games. They've also scored 3 or less runs in 27 games, which is 41.5%, accounting for 18 of their 23 losses this season.
I don't like those numbers.
No.
One bit. No,
not fun at all.
No.
41.5% of their games, they've scored 3 runs or less.
Dombrowski, I know you're probably not watching, but I want to talk to you. Go get that man from Milwaukee who loves Philadelphia still at heart. Go get Rhys Hoskins, please. Thank you. That's all I got to say.
The offensive approach is just reminding me of second half of last year. They're just swinging at every first pitch. They're not disciplined at the plate. They're not seeing the pitches that they were starting to see, that, like we thought in the month of May when they were, tearing the cover off the ball. It's just a daunting stretch right now. And there's so many people that are the hot take artists out there that are saying, oh, is this the demise of the Phillies? It's still June.
It's
like
first week of June.
I know it's still, it's like getting to the halfway point. But it's still relatively early. You still have
time left.
You still have a little under 100 games left before the season comes to a close.
I don't want to bring them up because I hate them with a passion. The Mets, they were bad at this time of the year, and they whooped our ass. But we don't have to talk about the Mets. I don't want to.
Do you know what is some kind of sick, twisted irony, though?
Yeah.
We get swept and have this horrendous road trip on the same weekend that we were in London last year, where things kind of went astray, ran amok, and we got flat out deceived by this team in 2024.
Yep. Well,
this time last year, the Phillies were in London, and that's where things kind of...
Yeah, let's never go back to London.
Yeah.
Well, I will go back, though. That was really
the
fun.
Phillies don't need to be in London anytime soon.
No. Let's stay in America. I don't care about Toronto. We'll stay in America. We'll stay at the bank.
Yeah, let's stay at Citizens Bank Park at all times. 1-9 though for this team is
brutal.
They have a lot to figure out. Chicago is going to be a tough series. They're playing well. Pete Crow Armstrong is unbelievable. They're pitching well too, and they're missing 2 of their top starters. So that's also something to kind of pay attention to. But the saving grace is Zach Wheeler is back, like we mentioned. The fact that he's coming back,
the TikTok star Zach Wheeler.
TikTok star.
Did you see the new TikTok they posted?
Yes.
Oh,
he's the man.
That's my ace. That's my Cy Young winner.
And the crazy part is they didn't even pitch poorly.
No, it was.
The bullpen game pitched well. Joe Ross was great.
We only give up 4 runs. That's for a bullpen game. That's perfectly fine.
Dream. We're going to talk more Phils in just a second. We're going to take a quick break, reset the cameras, have a word from our sponsors, but don't go anywhere. We're live from Ritas and Sewell here for Underground Sports Philadelphia.
At the Vineland Municipal Utilities, we understand that when our business community thrives, we all win. As a not-for-profit utility, our reliability, lower cost of operations, and flexibility in meeting customer needs make doing business in Vineland beneficial to your bottom line. What's more, we are able to do so while maintaining our commitment to environmental stewardship. We look forward to helping you achieve your business goals now and for years to come. Vineland, New Jersey, where it's always growing season.
So follow Underground Sports Philadelphia right now.
Tell them subscribe.
Subscribe right now to Underground Sports Philadelphia.
We love this guy.
Love that.
We love this.
And welcome back, everybody. Thank you to our sponsors. But yeah, I mean, the pitching was not the issue.
Not
they
ideal.
pitched well. Zach Wheeler's coming back, which is just
Thank you.
rich get richer type situation. Have your ace back. The big question, though, over the past couple of weeks has been Jesus Luzardo and him kind of just being off. I don't know if you need to, phantom IL him and let him just kind of have time off. But other than him, the pitching is what's kept this team afloat.
Yeah, no. I mean, we still, in my opinion, we have the best rotation in baseball. Nola, dog. Sanchez, dog. Suarez, my goat. Love him. Wheeler, Cy Young favorite still. I don't care what anyone says. He's Cy Young favorite. And then, Like, we got dudes.
McAble's pitched extremely well in his 2 starts.
Build a statue, unless we trade him for Trout, which I'm fine with. But I say we send Luzardo down, 10-day IL, and we bring up Andrew Painter.
It'll get there.
It'll get there eventually.
I want
to
the All-Star break,
yeah.
but he's going to be in. And I mean, that was a preseason declaration from Rob Thompson that they were going to go to a 6-man rotation after the All-Star break, which is exciting. But I mean, the fact that McAble is getting the Cole Hamels treatment by this offense, 2 starts, 1 run each. He hasn't pitched poorly at all, and in both of those starts, 0 walks. He's looked the part. And
looked amazing.
The fact that he's doing that basically in relief of Aaron Nola being out, Wheeler being out, like he's stepped up big time and helped keep this team in games. It's just the offense has been nowhere to be found. I have them on the side of a milk carton right now, unless their name is Trey Turner and Kyle Schwarber for the most part.
Bohm at times.
And even then, it's just like
Cassie's been all right.
He's been consistent.
He's not hitting the bombs, which that's why we need to bring Reese back. But Cassie's been 280 to mid 270s. I'm happy with that.
It's everyone else.
What?
It's everyone else.
It's the bottom. It's
where are you?
Yeah, Bryson Stott, I love you, bud, but
he's got to hit 7th.
Yeah,
you just got to move him down in the lineup and let him get a little bit of confidence back because he can work pitches at the bottom of the lineup too, and that's a benefit for this team.
Yeah,
like get on base, flip the lineup over, have Trey Turner, drive him in. Like that's a benefit. Bryson's just not getting it done with the bat at the top of the lineup, and that's a problem.
Yeah. No, I agree with you.
But the Mets stay in front, 4.5 up, but bright spot. At least we didn't do a franchise legend like the Braves did a franchise legend this week.
Oh,
Craig Kimbrell. Gets called up.
That's what you get for Game 4 or 5 of the NLCS in 2023.
Gets called up by the Braves. It was 11 years in between appearances in a Braves uniform for him.
Suck it, Kimbrel.
And then the very next day gets sent back. He gets DFA'd. I mean, what a disaster of an organization.
Makes me smile. It makes me so happy.
Great. It's so great.
Maybe they should not have said attaboy Harper. That has been the fall of the Atlanta Braves.
It's so great. Like, the fact that the Phillies would never do that.
No.
Even if it was a guy, like, on Kimbrel, like, the Phillies would probably put out, like, a tribute video for Jonathan Papelbon because that's just how they work. That's how the team operates.
We have class in Philadelphia sometimes.
The Braves are just a joke of a franchise.
Poverty.
And the fact that they did that to Kimbrel, I was just like, not that I felt bad for him because he did screw us in 2023, but I was just like, damn, that's cold. that's cold.
That's tough.
But, you look at some of the other teams in Major League Baseball have been struggling. Like, the Dodgers, they lost a series to the Cardinals.
Yep.
They had their moments. The Red Sox have really fallen off. That's a team I'm really eyeing in terms of, the trade deadline.
Speaking of the Red Sox, did you hear about a rumor from them besides Chapman?
Yeah, the Jarren Duran
I think I sent
thing.
it to you, right?
It makes no sense to me because, again, very similar to Cedric Mullins, like left-handed guy.
But in the peak of his prime, though, right now, which is what Mullins doesn't have going for him.
Yeah, I just don't see the fit in terms of, like, the lineup and, like, I'm not, like, a big fan of his in terms of, like, play. Like, I think he's a solid player.
Yeah.
I just don't think he moves the needle for this team to go from where they are now to championship caliber.
That's fair. I think he would fit very well for us with the city and the clubhouse. I think that's would be both very good because he plays in Boston. He loves Boston. He loves a big city, and I think he would fit right in with Bryce and Schwarber.
They need a right-handed bat.
That is fair.
Like Reese, like a Taylor Ward. Like, they need to go and get that right-handed power bat.
It should be Reese option 1, if not Brenton Doyle or Taylor Ward.
Yeah.
I think Brenton Doyle should be 1 because he's younger and they have time on his contract, and they're not paying him anything.
There's some other guys too, out there that you could look around. Whether it's Cleveland, who are 7.5 back in the Central, and sure they're above 500, but like if you can get me a package of one of their outfilders and like Emmanuel Clase, like I'll take that. The White Sox, the Royals are towards the bottom there in the Central as well. Like we mentioned too, LA in terms of the Angels, the Rangers, and the Athletics. The Mariners have fallen off big time. That's a team that has a ton of talent on it.
You think they're done with J-Rod? Because I think we'll take them.
I don't think they're done with J-Rod, but there's players for sure. And I mean, when you talk Cleveland, like I would take Carlos Santana back in a heartbeat.
Where would we play him?
I mean, it's a similar thing to Reese. There's
Fair.
a lot of maneuverability there.
That
but
is
for
true.
a guy who's older, who has played for this team before, who took out a full page in the Philadelphia Inquirer when he left to thank the fans, he knows what it's like to play in Philly. Dude is still raking at 41 years old or however old he is, like 39. Like, I wouldn't mind getting him on this team as a big bat, to come off the bench for some games to play first base, something like that.
I think it's the emotional attachment with Reese and what he brought us. We want Reese back. If there's an option, Reese or Santana, I think we all want
for
Reese
sure.
back.
And
the
it's
bat
just going to be a
slam
matter
is iconic.
of what you have to pay to get Reese versus what you might have to pay to get Santana, depending on where those two teams are in their respective standings and stuff like that. And a team like the Cardinals, like they early on looked like a team that you could potentially trade for some bullpen help. They're a wild card team right now. If anything, they're going to be adding to their team rather than subtracting. So this is why June is such a pivotal month, everyone.
It's a very
this is
important
why June
month.
is pivotal.
June and July.
But let's move right along because speaking of GOATs, Allen Iverson celebrated his 50th birthday this week. It's insane that he's 50 because he does not feel like he's 50 at all. Like, it still feels like 2001, the step over, like iconic.
I wasn't born for that.
That's crazy.
I wasn't alive.
Like, that was a moment that lives rent-free in my head and is just an iconic.
What happened in that series?
We don't talk about the step overs. All that happened. That's all that happened. We stepped to the next season. That's what happened. Okay. But Allen Iverson, 50th birthday this week, and I mean,
icon.
You see the people who the Sixers got to do like the happy birthday like tribute video, from Shaquille O'Neal to guys that are on the current roster to Eric Snow and guys that he played with on that 01 team. Like, he transcends time. Like, Allen Iverson is a guy that has the respect and just like the love from every era of the NBA, and like, he's a guy that genuinely got me to fall in love with basketball. Like, his style of play, he didn't care that he was too small. He didn't care that guys were bigger than him. He found a way to make it work and transcended like that era of late 90s to early 2000s basketball and changed the game not only on the court but off the court.
Oh, yeah, very.
Was a game changer for fashion, for the culture. Like, he's just such a special player, and I do find it like great. Like, he's 50 years old, but there's some players that are in that age range that played in Iverson's era that current NBA players have no idea who they are.
Yeah.
But you go and ask any NBA player who Allen Iverson is,
they're gonna know who they are.
that's like, they're like, oh,
AI.
that's my GOAT. Like, that's who I looked up to when I was playing. Like, and I think it's so special for a team like the Sixers to have Allen Iverson still around the team, to have him around guys like Tyrese Maxey and Jared McCain, who are, for not the same degree as Allen Iverson, but those two guys in particular are transcending like this generation of NBA basketball for that position. Like, those are guys that people look to, and you're seeing player comps now come out for new, college players. And it's like, oh, he plays like Jared McCain, he plays like Tyrese Maxey, like, and to have Allen Iverson for those guys to lean on is so important and pivotal, I think, especially in this weird era that the Sixers are in right now, going into the draft and everything. But I mean, AI is just
iconic.
An icon. He's an icon.
He changed the style of basketball on and off the court. Like, before then, you saw probably 2 or 3 dudes with tattoos like Rodman. Now you see them inked out of their mind, including myself. So shout out UAI.
And like, just the style and the like those Iverson era Sixers jerseys are.
They are tough. I will
tough.
Admit, as a Celtics fan, they're pretty tough.
And the Sixers are bringing them back this year, so I'm very excited to get a Tyrese Maxey one in that
all
style.
All that just to win 30 games?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, work. I mean, you can become a Celtics fan at any time, guys.
No. We don't.
Still defending champions.
We don't homie hop like that. But
But you want me to homie hop to a Cowboys fan?
Yes.
Okay.
There's a difference.
Okay. Is there a difference?
Yeah, the Celtics have titles that are not, on VHS tape.
There are some on VHS tape.
Yeah, but they have one that's currently digitally downloadable from YouTube.
I watch every night to put myself to sleep. Yes.
You can watch their clips on social media in color, not black and white or sepia tone. But the overall look of just what Allen Iverson has done for the game is incredible. And I think he's somebody that, when it's all said and done, like, he's not only just a Philly athlete, Mount Rushmore type of guy. Like, you think icons of each franchise in Philadelphia, like Allen Iverson's somebody that comes to mind for anybody right away. he's a basketball Mount Rushmore type of guy. Like, if you say Allen Iverson's in your top 5 players of all time, I'm not going to argue that, depending on what the list is and stuff like that. But he's somebody, when it comes to changing the game, top 5, 100% on my list.
Yeah, changing the game. There's 3 dudes in my head right now that I can think to change the game. AI. I know it's going to be recency bias, but Steph Curry. Steph Curry has changed the game dramatically. And then the other one, I don't know who we would consider changing the game, but it was honestly Dirk for stretch 5. You didn't see stretch 5s, maybe Brook Lopez before Dirk or around that time, but he was the only center really shooting. And now you see every center pulling from 30. So I would say Dirk.
Without Allen Iverson, do we have Steph Curry?
Cool.
A guy who at Davidson was told he was too small.
Yeah.
Obviously comes from an NBA background and everything, but undersized guard and comes in and changes the game as we know it because he can rip threes like no other. But again, without Allen Iverson coming in and being that undersized guard and changing the game in that era, does Steph Curry say, hey, yeah, I can do this too? Like, I looked up to Allen Iverson. I'm going to do this, my way, and I'm going to find a way to carve my niche in the NBA and become an all-time great. And I think there's so many players right now, even though Allen Iverson retired mid-2010s, that are so influenced by Allen Iverson's game, and you see it on a nightly basis in the NBA, whether it's, like you said, Steph Curry, Tyrese Maxey, Jared McCain, Kyrie Irving,
Jason Tatum,
Ja Morant. Like, there's so many guys, probably.
I just want to put that out there.
Jaylen Brown probably, looks up to Allen. Like, there's so many guys that you can watch the nuances in their game, and you can find a way to trace it back to Allen Iverson, which is so cool. Like, even all these years later, decades later, there's still guys influenced by the Dirks, by Allen Iverson, by Shaq,
Steph,
by
KD.
So many guys now that the nuances in their game go back to those players, and I find that such a cool wrinkle about basketball in particular, is that it is such a nuanced sport that you can kind of trace back different moves and different play styles to where those guys got influence, whether it be from old school NBA mixtapes or going to Rucker Park and watching street ball and stuff like that. There's so many different ways to tie it back, and Allen Iverson is a huge proponent of that.
Yep.
So shout out to my GOAT, Allen Iverson, the only AI that I will ever recognize, because we don't mess with that AI stuff. Support local artists, which I got to show you one of my friends who did this sick. I'm gonna put it up in post for everyone. This sick Allen Iverson artwork. She is the best. Truly insane levels of talent, and tell me that's not tough.
Oh, that's fire.
Tough.
Yeah, that's cool.
Shout out to Dewani. She's the one that I told you, the City Connect
Oh,
mural.
yeah.
She did that.
That's so tough.
So yeah, shout out to Allen
Love
Iverson.
Love Philly artists.
AI, the only one will acknowledge Allen Iverson, the best. Last bit here, but before we do, it's a Ritas Takeover episode of Underground Sports Philadelphia. We're live on location at Ritas in Sewell, 288 Egg Harbor Road. We're going to be here all summer long. It is the place to be during this time of year. Cool down, the best sweet treats in the game, from the gelatis to the Italian ice, the whole 9 yards. We love Ritas. Come on out, 288 Egg Harbor Road all season long, and come support Ritas in Sewell. We're going to be doing some social media content with them too, which is going to be a ton of fun. So shout out to Ritas. We're going to get there. 2 games this weekend on ESPN as well. Philadelphia Waterdogs
Soon.
did the thing. Get a season opening dub down in Charlotte in the PLL this weekend, sitting in second place in the Eastern Conference just by virtue of having only played 1 game so far. 16-12 win over the Maryland Whipsnakes. Michael Sowers, our guy, Phillies' own, tied for second all-time in assists in 1 single game with 7, and finished it off with a nice little goal to have an 8-point night. Our guy Kieran McCardle with a 6-point night. And Matt DeLuca, Waterdogs goalie, finished with, I believe, either the highest or second highest save percentage in his career, 62.5% save percentage. They look great. They look fast. new lease on life for this team, and the best part is they still don't have the number 1 overall pick in C.J. Kirst. He got hand surgery, so he'll be back after the All-Star break that was confirmed by Bill Tierney this weekend. So you're adding the best player in the country to this team that is already loaded with talent. It's looking exciting for the Waterdogs this season. Their homecoming is this weekend, which on top of that, we're doing a live show now. We're going to be doing a live show on either Friday or Saturday. We're still getting all the details worked out, but I believe I'm leaning towards it being Saturday, this coming Saturday from Villanova for Waterdogs homecoming weekend. So if you're going to be at PLL Philly, come through the Premier Zone. It's going to be a ton of fun. Myself, DJ, Jacob's going to be there with us as well. You're gonna have a blast meeting all of these 10 to 12-year-olds running around with their little fiddle sticks, and they're going to try to juke you, and you're going to be like, you did nothing. You've accomplished nothing.
Got some little jits running around.
It's the best. They think they accomplished something when they juke me with their small little fiddle sticks, because I'm a 31-and-a-half-year-old washed former athlete. I never played lacrosse. You accomplished nothing, my young Padawans.
Quick question: will I go to jail if I hit stick one of them?
Probably.
So don't do that.
Yeah, I would just try to deke them.
Yeah.
Try to go to the other side and see if they get caught up.
Okay. Fair.
But we are going to do man on the street with you
that's
at PLL
gonna
Philly.
be sick.
And it's going to be funny when you walk around with your own little lacrosse stick as the microphone, going up and holding the microphone in their faces, which is going to be so funny. But yeah, I mean, the Waterdogs, big-time win. They're in second place in the East, third place overall, I believe, in the league. And just like soccer, Champions League, top 4 teams qualify for the championship series in February. That's where we want to get. We want to compete for trophies always. But an incredible week, and we're going to recap the full weekend, obviously, on the Outside the Box podcast later this week. But we had a photographer down in Charlotte who absolutely snapped for us. No pun intended. Maybe there was a pun intention there. Shout out to Miles Lineberger. He absolutely crushed it. Ton of photos and video up on our socials now, too. And, the Waterdog, like we said when we were introducing, they got the best color scheme in the league.
Yeah,
black, purple, and white is tough.
And they're called the Waterdogs. I'm calling it the Waterdogs. I kind of want to be a fan. I guess I support it because I work here.
They wore the white jerseys this week. They called them the Ice Dogs.
Ooh, that's hard.
It was tough. It was tough.
That's hard.
Good win. And, I mean, funny moment, too. I'm in all the post-game press conferences and everything. I'm asking Coach Tierney, Michael Sowers, and Kieran McCarl a question. And immediately as I start asking them about the offense, a fire alarm goes off. And they had to evacuate the building. So, I mean, their offense was hot. Their offense was hot. 16 points this week. They did not score in a single game last year. They did not score 16 points last year. Damn. So a new high in the Bill Tierney era. They're looking good. They're moving fast. And like I said, they still don't have the number 1 pick in the draft this year yet. That's essentially like saying, yeah, we're real good right now, and we're adding like Wemby.
Yeah.
We're adding a 5-tool player to this team that is going to be a superstar for years to come.
That's fire.
And, he broke the single-season record in college lacrosse for goals in a season with 82. Won the Tewaaraton Award, which is lacrosse's equivalent to the Heisman, and is the all-time leading goal scorer in college lacrosse history.
Oh, so he's a dog.
He's a dog.
He's a dog.
Literally, and he's a D-A-W-G. He's a dog. But, yeah, Philly weekend is going to be awesome. They have 2 games because it is their homecoming weekend this coming week. The first game on Friday will be against the Boston Cannons. That's a battle for first place. Cannons right now 2-0 and in first place in the East.
Boston sucks, yeah.
Boston stinks. Boo. We like the Cannons, but Dogs homecoming weekend, we want to see them succeed. That game's 6 o'clock on ESPN+, and then they play on Saturday Night Lacrosse, which is the big new marketing thing from the PLL. Saturday Night Lacrosse, ESPN+, 7 Eastern, Philly against the Denver Outlaws. 4 Tewaaraton winners on that Outlaws team, which is the most of any team in the league, so it's going to be a battle there. I'm looking forward to both games, and like I said, we're going to have a live show going on Saturday. More than likely, it'll be announced on all of our socials too, so if you're paying attention to the socials, you'll see that. Myself, DJ on the mics, Jacob's me doing some man on the street content, which is going to be awesome. We're gonna get you fully immersed into what it's like to follow the PLL, and genuinely, I tell everyone this, taking in a PLL game in person for the first time rather than watching it on TV for the first time is a whole different experience. So, like, you're going to see it up close and personal. And there's a lot of basketball nuances with lacrosse, which is like the plays and the scheming and everything. You'll recognize a lot.
Everyone getting like yammed on. Or,
there's hits. There's big time. Like
now.
This past weekend, there was a big old fight
in
one of the games.
Like that.
So
I like that.
It's the physicality of like football and hockey meets the nuances of like basketball and soccer, all in one, which is so much fun. And I mean, just the speed of the game too is very similar to basketball. And I always tell people too that are new to lacrosse, if you watch it through the lens of your basketball fandom or your basketball knowledge, you'll understand it like clockwork. It's so easy. But it's gonna be a ton of fun. Looking forward to that. Jacob, first live show.
I love it. It was sick. It's only like my fourth show, but
I was going to say, getting used to hearing your voice in your head.
No, it's a little weird. It's going to take me some getting used to, but I'm like, damn, is that really what I sound like? I sound like
It is weird, but it takes. That's how you know you're in the right line of work is when you hate hearing your own voice.
Oh, always did.
It's the worst, but that's how you know you're meant to be working in sports, because you hear your voice all the time and you hate it and you complain about it, and that's what we all commiserate about is like, oh, I hate hearing my voice. Make sure you guys are following us, though, on the socials at Underground PHI across the board. Keep up to date with everything we're doing. We'll be in Philly. We'll be at Sunday Night Baseball, too. It's one of our season ticket games, so me and CFO Margie will be there. We will be in Baltimore as well next week for PLL for Hall of Fame weekend, which will be a ton of fun. In Baltimore, it's always a doozy going there. Catch some more Waterdogs as well in person. But follow us on the socials so you keep up to date with everything we're doing across the board throughout the company. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts in audio form. Leave us a 5-star review. It goes a long way for helping this show continue to grow, plus all of our shows on the network. And subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel, youtube.com/@UndergroundSportsPhiladelphia. Leave a like on the video. Drop a comment in the comment section. Click that bell icon so you know whenever new videos go live. Leave us a voicemail on the AJ Brown hotline because it's always open. Speakpipe.com/UndergroundSportsPhiladelphia. Before we know it, the Eagles will be back. The Phillies are in full swing if you want to rant about the Phils.
Pun intended there.
100%. The NBA draft, we'll probably be live streaming for that as well. We'll have a stream for the NBA draft to react to all of the picks, especially in the first round and everything that goes on there. NHL draft is right around the corner as well. Flyers with the number 6 pick. If anything you want to get your thoughts off, speakpipe.com/UndergroundSportsPhiladelphia. Big thank you to Ritas and Sewell for having us for a live show. Hoping to do more of these throughout the month of June and going into the summer. 288 Egg Harbor Road is the address.
Weird.
Come on out, support Ritas and Sewell. They're supporting us, so make sure you come out and tell them that Underground Sports Philadelphia sent you. Jacob, we're going to do some blind taste tests. It's been a decade since you've had Ritas,
it's been a minute.
We're going to get you back on the Ritas grind. But big thank you to Ritas and Sewell for having us. And this has been episode 749 of Underground Sports Philadelphia, a live edition from Ritas in Sewell. Big thank you to them once again, and we'll see you back in studio, myself, Harrison, and Jacob on Thursday. Hopefully talking about some Phil's wins for once.
I like that idea.
Plus whatever comes across the docket. But until then, we're getting the heck up out of here, and we are signing off. Peace.